Welcome to clickmeproject.com. Okay, this is our project title for the domain of data mining on learning of choice models with the interactive attribute. Okay, so this is our abstract for the introducing recent advances in the machine learning techniques to state-of-the-art discrete choice models. Here we are developing different approaches based to processing our data sets as the inferring the unique and complex decision making process as decision maker, which is characterized by the decision maker's priorities and attitudinal character along with the attributes interaction, to name a few. Here we'll processing of the datasets to be processing as the clustering data on the basis of exemplary preference informations to the form of pairwise comparisons of alternatives. Here our decision making process with the different methods based on to seek the induce a decision making preference models in terms of parameters of recent discrete choice models. Here different choice models based, we will reduce our learning function as learning choice models with attribute based functions to constrained non-linear optimization problem. So here and finally our learning approach is a simple one here, that's to consideration of the interaction among with different attributes along with the priorities and a unique attitudinal character of the decision making process. Okay, this is our flow diagram for the learning of choice models. So first, the domain of data mining. So first of all, what is data mining? The data mining is the non-trivial extractions of implicit, previously unknown, potentially useful information from the data. So this is the data mining, and here we will create a data. Here we will different data set, different attribute based. We will create a data set, and after the data set will be loaded into the database. So now we'll choosing different models based on decision making process. So next we will choosing the dataset will be loaded and stored into the database. Again the process, the pre-process is the one of the stage to be reduce the null values. Suppose the dataset or database is any values to be null, the particular item is to be removed or corrected. So this is it's called pre-process. So next one is the clustering data. The clustering is one of the process to be separating the particular data sets based on some attributes or values. So next is the decision making. Here we will mainly focus on the decision making process. So now we are choosing decision making based. We will create some data sets and data set to be loaded and stored into the database. So next we will classify the data based on clustering results. So the clustering results we will classify the different data sets, and again splitting the data models as different data sets or different models to based on the learning of choice models. So the learning of choice models based, we will splitting the models based clustering data. So again more clustering data, we will splitting some data or filtering some data. So here we will using different data sets and the different values, and finally we will clustering the data and clustering data with filtering some frequent items. So here we will analyzing some features generations process. Okay, so next we will go to the models prediction. So here always we will predict the results based on the always will predict the clustering results to based on the learning of choice models. So now we will splitting the particular data based on learning of choice models. Finally we will view the data. Okay, now the demo section is start for learning of choice models with the interactive attributes. This is our home page. So go for next file selection. So here file chooser choosing particular data sets. So here we'll selecting the data sets as 21 different.txt. So here we'll file chooser choosing some particular database. So again the dataset will be loaded into the database. So all datasets are inserted into the database table. So go for next. So this is another file selection. Under file selection, so go for next page. This is the another metadata informations to be displayed. Go for Next is pre-process. Pre-process is the one of the process. Suppose the data is to be suppose any the data set or any values to be null, the data is removed. It's called pre-process. So next clustering the data. So this is the selecting. So classify the data. So the results are classified. So here we'll choosing the sunny data. So classify. So that this is the data set for classifying the particular data. This is the day, outlook, and the temperature, humidity, wind, and the play tennis. So some particular data is to be displayed. Click the sunny data. The sunny record updated successfully. So the record is successfully updated to be stored into the database. So click to the rain data. So classify. The rain data outlooking for rain data is successfully stored into the database for overcast data. Okay, overcast data, rain data. So go for next. So this is another process. So choosing the list. So results are classified. Here we will using student details based on data sets. As the different is the one of the data sets for choosing the item name as BC Max. So this is the BC Max students as 25. Okay. So go for cluster. Here we'll taking the total number of student IDs and the name. Okay. So this is the total number of student records. Okay. So go for next. This is the another clustering data. So no selection. So choosing the cluster data. So selecting the Addon. So this is the another data set for E. coli. Choosing the E. coli data. So this is the E. coli data set for the MW mode, SMOT, and the difference is the ranking. So this is the another data sets for classifying the data. So this is the whole data set records for the different database attributes in the Addon, E. coli, glass, the Simulon, Libra, Pima, robot, and vehicle. These are some different attributes. Different attributes based will classify our data. So go for next. So always said with here we will using different models as learning of choice models. So the learning of choice models with view the data. So here we will choosing selecting the MW mode and the SMOT records. So this is a difference for the mode and SMOT records. So this is the whole student personal details. So this is our course and the score details. So here we will using different set of attributes based clustering the data. It's based on some learning of choice models using to be retrieve the data, or models using data retrieval process is completed. Okay, the demo is finished. Thanks for listening.